10 insane things that affect how you vote on election day. Every 4 years, the US public takes part in one of the biggest exercises in democracy on earth. Hundreds of millions weigh the policies of the opposing candidates, calmly compare their economic plans, and make a rational choice that will set the course of the nation for nearly half a decade. Whatever the outcome, it's a triumph of democracy. Or is it? Turns out our voting choices are a lot less rational than we think. In fact, they can be influenced by stuff that's certifiably insane. Heavy rain boosts the Republican candidate. When Al Gore lost Florida in 2000, a lot of Dems tore themselves apart trying to figure out why. They could have just glanced outside. November 7, 2000, saw unseasonably heavy rain in Florida. Rain nearly always gives Republican candidates a boost. Natural disasters boost the challenging party. The George W. Bush administration's weak response to Hurricane Katrina was instrumental in turning off Republican minority voters. But even if Bush had handled the crisis well, he'd have still lost voters for the Republicans in 2008. A study by Christopher Reagan and Larry Bartels found that voters often blame the incumbent party for natural disasters, even when the government responds well. Sporting victories boost the incumbent. Let's pretend it's the day before the election and your team is playing a high-stakes game. Before you start praying for them to win, you'd better decide who you want in the White House. Major sporting victories frequently give the ruling party an election boost. Glancing at the flag makes you more centrist. According to a Cornell study, just glancing at a flag can pull voters toward the political center. Thinking about death makes you more conservative. One day, you and everyone you know is going to die. If you're reading this on election day, we've got some news for you. You are now more likely to vote Republican. Believing in God makes you less likely to vote. According to polls, around 90% of Americans believe in God. The type of God you believe in can influence how you vote. If you believe in an interventionist God who takes an interest in worldly affairs, then you probably won't bother to vote at all. A candidate's face can influence how you vote. If you ask what voters value in a president, we'll say, competence. What do we mean by that? A level head? Decades of experience? Nope. According to science, we mean a dude who looks trustworthy. How easily startled you are can predict how you'll vote. When we're startled, our body freaks out. Our skin becomes moist, and we start blinking like mad. These reactions happen to varying degrees in different people, and we can't control them. But we can use them to make predictions. If you have a strong startle reflex, you have a stronger chance of voting for socially conservative candidates. Voting for the winning candidate turns you into a masculine love machine. Now let's talk about what happens to you after an election. Well, we've got some good news for you guys out there. If the candidate you voted for wins, the results could turn you into a hyper-masculine love machine.